Namaskar. I'm Harpreet Kaur and I welcome you all to our live and interactive online training on development of video resources. You are watching us live on PM eVidya channels 6 to 12 and also on our YouTube handle NCERT Official. This training program is brought to you by Central Institute of Educational Technology, that is CIET-NCERT, New Delhi. Today we are in day 3 of the training session and the topic that we are taking up is script writing. We all know that script writing is the backbone of any video resource. But how important script writing is, how it is catering to different audiences, how we are making it interactive and engaging, we will definitely explore all these domains here in the session today. And if you have questions, if you are into script writing, you are producing video programs for different audiences, you can definitely raise your concerns and ask questions through various platforms. Please take down our phone number, which is 8800440559. Our email ID is training.helpdesk@ciet.nic.in, and on our YouTube handle NCERT Official, you can send us your questions, suggestions, your feedback, your problems, challenges and experiences as well. And now I must tell you that since it's a training program, there is going to be an assessment as well. I will share all the details regarding the assessment and the guidelines related to the same by the end of today's session. So now it's time for us to welcome our expert for the day. We have with us Miss Binita Rai, ma'am is TV producer from Media Production Division of CIET-NCERT. Ma'am, namaskar and very warm welcome to you. Ma'am, we all know that when it comes to production of video program or any content that is video, we need a script. Yes. We need something that we can put on screen, and for that we need to do research. We need to put in efforts. We need to do the right characterization. There's a lot of stuff basically involved. I'm sure you will delve deep into the topic, but before doing that, please apprise us all about all the important points that you will be covering in the session today.
Okay, well, thank you very much for having me, Harpreet.
Thank you.
And yes, so the topic for today is script writing. And although script writing is very vast, so we will be actually talking about just the basics. Like even if you know the basics, this will actually help you at the end of the video to draft a nice script that will help in making your educational content more lively. Okay. So what we will be basically exploring today is, how a good script can strengthen educational resource and educational content, right? It will help us to plan and structure and to bring, like I said, life to your lessons. Okay, so by the end of the video, what we are going to do is, by the end of the video, what you will be learning is, you will learn how to draft a script, you will learn about the key stages of script development and also some of the elements that goes into making a script very interesting. So should we dive into the
Absolutely, because as you rightly mentioned, it's a very vast domain, and National Education Policy 2020 also talks about interactive learning, engaging learning. And since we're focusing on 21st century skills, where we talk about analytical thinking, critical thinking, I think our script should give us food for the thought. Yes. So ma'am, before you start, I just want to say that our audiences will be asking questions as well. We will take those questions by the end of the session, and you can now go ahead with your presentation uninterrupted.
Okay, thank you, Harpreet. All right, then let's begin.
Yeah.
I always like to begin with the definition, right? So what is script? So basically, when we talk about scripting, scripting is a blueprint. It helps. It's like a guidebook that helps you into communication. Now, in NCERT, right, we have this thing. Every now and then we have script committee meetings. All right, and I would like to bring this, to the knowledge of all our audience here, to our viewers here, is that whenever we do script, whenever we read these scripts in our meetings, right, our script committee chairperson, for example, if I am the person who is reading the script, so ma'am will tell me, do not explain, just read. Alright, so a script is a guideline where if a person is not there, right, the script should be able to give me that information ki who is speaking,
yes,
what is being said, how is it being said, right? And when is it being said? And what kind of visuals goes it, right? What is it accompanying? So this is what a script is. It is basically a blueprint, and it helps the entire production team to understand what goes into your content. All right. Now we go next to why is it important for educators. Now again, let me give you another example. You know, I'm a person who gives a lot of examples, so I just hope it's going to be relatable to lots of our audience here.
Yes.
So, you know, back when I was in college, you know, we had this, I had this friend who said that she had a teacher who would actually come, you know, and he would start with a topic, and you know, in between he would just deviate into something else. And it so happened that they couldn't even finish the course on time, right? So when we have something like a script for educators, like it's basically like a lesson plan. You know, I think every educator will know the importance of a lesson plan. So it helps them to stay on track.
Stay focused.
I think that's what I like to say. You know, it helps you to stay on track. It helps you to pace it, right? कि इतने मिनट में मुझे इतना सिखाना है, right? And it helps you to understand कि with this objective, how much information I'm supposed to give, right? And who are my target audience? So it's very important for educators to have a script. In another example, why they should have a script is because nowadays we live in this world of multimedia.
Yes.
Right? And you know, in multimedia, like there are lots of resources that we can utilize. So why not utilize it for the betterment of education for our children, right? So script helps you in this. So let's move to the next one. Now let's talk about the development of script. Now script has a lot of stages. For some people, script can be 3 stages. For some people, script writing can be 10 stages. All right. For some people, it can even be 12. But like we said earlier in the beginning of this program, that we will be touching the basics. And when you just touch the basic also, you will be able to write a good script at the end of the video. Okay. So let's begin with something that is called idea and purpose. Now, what is idea and purpose? Now, when you want to make a video, you have to know what are you making it, right? Why are you making it? What is the topic, right? So the idea is very important. Right now we are in NCERT, right? We are talking basically about educational content. This training is basically right now about developing educational content, right? I mean resources for educational content. So here maybe the idea can be, for example, photosynthesis. You want to teach the students about photosynthesis. You want to teach the student about a chemical change. You want to teach the student about a poem. Or maybe you want to teach the story about the students about a story of Akbar and Birbal and what is the moral of the story, right? So this is basically the idea that you would like to project and what your story or what your script is going to be all about. Then you have the purpose. Once you have the idea, you have the purpose. What do you want the students to learn? At the end of the video, whether it's 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, at the end of the video, what is the student supposed to understand? You know, what is the learning outcome? That is what is the idea and purpose. Alright, so very easy this one. Let's move to the next one. The next one is, okay, before I go to the next one, like I said, Harpreet, I will be touching only a few of the stages.
Sure.
And I will be touching on about 6 stages. Okay. Alright. So the first 3 stages is something we will be talking in brief. Okay. And it's very easy to understand. You know, if the trainers, if they have a question, they can always put it up and we will answer that later, right? The last 3 is something that we will be going in depth. Okay. Alright, so I'm just giving a heads up to you and also to all the people who have joined us online. Alright, so the next topic is audience profiling. Now, what is audience profiling? Audience profiling is basically, you know, first you know what is your topic. You know what you want to teach to the topic. Then you will talk about ki aapka audience kaun hai. Who is actually your target audience? Who are the people who will be watching your video? Now, why is target audience so important? Why is this profiling so important? Is because you will know ki, you know, what kind of content this student should get. For example, in audience profiling, what happens is, if you are showing a video to a child of a primary grade. So if you have to talk to that child about a poem, right? So what is the best way of showing that poem? Should it be a song,
Yes.
right? Should it be like an animation, right? So you have to profile your audience. You have to know ki how much does this child already know.
Yes.
Okay, this is very important.
Yeah.
Now, I'll give you another example. So, we were in one of these, we were reading a script some time back, and the coordinator who was there, he was telling us about how for the class 2 student, you cannot directly talk about a sphere. Because शायद उसको he doesn't know what a circle is, right? So without knowing a circle, how will you make a video on sphere, right? So it's so important that you know your target audience. When you're doing the script, you need to know कि कितना ये बच्चे को पहले से आता है, and then you move forward, right? So audience profiling helps you understand the need of the child, right? It helps you understand how much the child already knows, how much is it I have to give more information to the child, and also the time span. Now, not all children have the same time span, right? There are many, younger child whose time span might be different, and there are children of higher grade whose time span must be different. So this is why audience profiling is really important.
And ma'am, I also think you touched upon a very important point. I also think that apart from the interest, we also need to see the background child is coming from.
Correct.
Because we have diverse learners.
Exactly.
We have to have the content which is relatable.
Yes.
If you're showing something that is quite common in urban areas, but people or child from rural area doesn't know about it, he will not find the content engaging.
Very correct. Yes, very true. So this is what I think we will be talking about in characterization and all later. This is a very nice, topic, but we will be discussing that later when we actually go into the element of script writing. Okay. But this is something you raised, which is very nice, and I hope that all our viewers will keep this in mind. Like, when they are making a content, like, whom are they making for? Why are they making for? Like I said again, how much of information they know, how much of information you're supposed to give them, in how much time span you're supposed to give them. That is very important. All right. Now moving to the next one. Next one is research. Now, many people they jokingly say कि script में क्या research, right? Like, I know a story, I want to tell a story. Why research? Now, you know what? Research helps you avoid make mistakes. Okay. Like, for example, if you have to make a documentary, right? So you will get the facts, okay? You will get for example, a documentary on maybe the river Godavari. Then you'll be like, what is the length of the river, and how many states does it passes through? So you need to give the exact accurate information. So research is very important because it actually helps you build up your script. Now research is not the actual script writing. Many people think कि हाँ मैंने research कर लिया, I have written and this is my script. No, research is not scripting. Research is a part of scripting that helps in developing your script. So in research, what you do is you collect factual data, you check your accuracy, and also what you do is you collect images, right? Stock footages, maybe you want to use in your visuals, in your video, and maybe you can gather, you want to do a video on a particular historical figure. So you go and search images of that person, you search more information on that person. So all these things comes under research. So these are the first three things, like I said, Harpreet, that we will be talking in brief, right? And so now we will talk about the next three, which is thoda sa, in depth we will go. All right. So next, what we will be talking about, media and format selection. Now, for example, if I tell you that I want to eat biryani, but they are like hundreds of biryanis, like what is the biryani I want to like, right? And which is the one that it suits my palate, right? There are some maybe it doesn't suit my palate, right? So maybe someone likes a biryani with aloo, someone doesn't like a biryani with aloo, right? So it's same thing in media selection also. I'm sorry for the the comparison, but I just wanted to just a light-hearted example that I wanted to give. So in media selection, it's like, we are making a video. But what kind of video, right? So when you know the video, then you will write according to the video. For example, are you going to write, do you want your video to be an animation? Do you want your video to be a documentary? Do you want to be your video a quiz? Do you want your video to be a game show? Do you want your video to be a dramatized version with lots of characters and acting and all stage, stage setup happening and proper dress up and stuff like that? Or since again, as we are talking about educational content, do you want your video to be just a narration with slideshows, or do you want your video to be a nice lecture?
Yeah.
Right? So there are a lot of formats, and unless you know the format, how will you write for the format, right? So what we are going to do now is we are going to learn about each format in brief, and then we will see a corresponding video of that format, so that later when you actually step into script writing, you understand ki हाँ मुझे ये वाला video I want to show like this. Right, this medium is best for my target audience. Like, you know, like I said in the beginning, maybe for a child, a poem in a sing-song way is the best way.
Yes.
You don't know, right? So the media selection, again, it's media selection and what do you say? Audience profiling is something that goes hand in hand.
Yes.
All right. Okay. So let's move to the videos that we're going to talk about. These are the other two, you know, that we will be talking about in a while. Okay, but so it will be structuring and writing. So once you know the different formats, okay, after knowing the different formats, then we will talk about the review.
Okay.
Okay, so let's dive into the
Yes.
formats. So first one is animation. Now, what is animation, right? So animation is basically images that are moving on screen, right? It's not just one graphic stagnant photo, but it's something where, you know, you have this continuous movement happening of images. That can be termed as, that's just a simple, very simple definition of animation. Now, when do we use animation in educational content? Now, animation again can be used in different kinds of scenarios. All right. Now, what happens is, again, number one, audience profiling plays a very big role in animation. Like, you know, what kind of content, what kind of format suits what kind of children, which grade do they belong to? That's number one. Number two is, what concept are you trying to explain? Now, for example, maybe I want to talk about the growth of a plant. Now, you know, like if you watch a Discovery Channel, you see that the cameras are placed and they shoot for months together to see the growth of, you know, from a seedling, you know, it goes into a plant,
sampling,
in a full fledged plant, right? But, you know, in educational content, for most of us, we lack the liberty of ample time. Right. So in a short span of time, when you have to explain a concept, right, so we can use an animation. Or for example, in one of the videos that I will be showing all of you right away, it's about the defects of human eyes. Now obviously we cannot go and shoot the human eye. So what we have done is, we have done a 2D animation of, like, you know, to explain the mechanism of the human eye and one of the defects of human eye. All right. And after this, we will be following this video with another one where we will be talking about, you know, there is a poem, you know, it's been recited for class 6 students, and it's about like, you know, there's this crow. It means you will watch it, like you will see it. So, you know, animation is not just to explain complex topics, but also maybe to make a story more interesting,
exciting.
And again, you should always know the available resources and time that you have, because animation takes time. Right, so you need to understand how much time you have, and you know your delivery, you know, how many days you need it, and yeah, so I think we can dive straight into the video. Okay, so the video, now this particular video is about, you know, this is just a small segment I have taken from defects of eyes that we have done for class 10, so please watch.
Light passes through the pupil and refracts through the lens to form an image of the object on the retina, which is made of light sensitive cells. Now, light sensitive cells
convert light energy into electrical signals, and the signals are relayed to the brain through the optical nerves.
The brain interprets the signals and forms the image that we see. So, in myopia, the image of a distant object is formed in front of the retina and not the retina itself. This defect may arise due to excessive curvature of the eye lens or elongation of the eyeball.
I think the video was self-explanatory and so engaging.
Yes. Thank you, Harpreet. I mean, you said it's engaging, and that is the motive, right? At
Yes.
the end of the day, the video has to be interesting and engaging.
That's right.
Okay, and to explain human eye, which is so difficult with visuals, it's really interesting.
Absolutely.
Right. So next is this poem from class 6. So
Okay.
let's watch this.
Yeah.
1 second.
Mr. Raven was perched upon a limb, and Reynard the fox looked up at him. For the raven held in his great big beak a morsel the fox would go far to seek. Said the fox in admiring tones, "My word, Sir Raven, you are a handsome bird. Such feathers! If you would only sing, the birds of these woods would call you king." The raven, who did not see the joke, forgot that his voice was just a croak. He opened his beak in his foolish pride, and down fell the morsel the fox had eyed. "Ha ha!" laughed the fox. "And now you know, ignore sweet words that make you glow. Pride, my friend, is rather unwise. I am sure this teaching is
Look
quite
at
a
those
surprise."
expressions. It's taking me back to my childhood days.
Yes, and it's so interesting. Like, you
Yes.
want to know more, like, you know, because there are
Yeah.
sometimes like just reading might not help you, like, and we all know that visuals with music, you know, it gives you like your attention span. I feel like you want to know more, and it just keeps you more engaging, and it makes the entire content interesting.
Absolutely. And I think music is such an important component.
Yes.
Whether it's a child or an adult, everybody gets attracted to the musical
Yes,
sound.
yes, it helps you set the emotion.
Yes.
Right? Have you ever Harpreet, like, you know, I don't just mean to deviate, but like just for a quick second, you know, have you ever tried watching a horror movie without
Yes.
the music? You will
Oh.
not be scared. Okay, just
Yes.
try it.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
you
yeah.
know, music, it actually, you know, it helps you build up the emotion, and it's such a crucial part of production. Maybe since the other segment will be on video recording and all, maybe our learners will learn
Yeah.
then. But for today, let's stick to script writing.
Sure.
Okay, so now we've done animation, and now the next one, it's documentary. Sorry. So when do we use documentary? Documentaries can be used, you know, if you want to talk about, as you can see in the slide in front of you on your screens, you can use this basically maybe, you know, for historic, when you want to talk about real people, real events, right? You want to talk about climate change, environmental crisis, you want to talk about social justice, you want to talk about, for example, the video I'm going to show you about Birsa Munda. Like, you know, there's lots of us, we do not know much about Birsa Munda, and it was really difficult for us to gather, you know, images and footages, you know. So we have, you know, done this with the help of images. We have done this video with the help of a bit of animation and a bit of text. So this is a documentary that I'm going to show it to you next. And documentaries actually help you connect with real life. Like, you know, it gives you, it tells you about, you know, bites. You know what bites are, right? These are the small clippings of, like, you know, they are not
Videos.
a full-fledged interview, but they are like just this
Video
small,
footage is small.
So you know, documentaries are not things where you have characters, where you have to give them lines, where they will have to memorize lines, or they have to practice their delivery. No, these are real things happening in real life, or these are about real people, these are about real events. You know, so this is maybe we can use this in a lot of social science videos also. Maybe want to talk about Indus Valley civilization and things like this. A good documentary is a nice way of delivering the educational content. So this other video that we want to play is for 3 minutes, but let's see if we will go all the way to the 3 minute, or maybe we can also cut it down short. Okay,
Sure.
so this is the video.
उलगुलान के महानायक धरती आबा बिरसा मुंडा, ऐसे महानायक जिन्होंने अपने अदम्य साहस से तत्कालीन दमनकारी ब्रिटिश शासन को न सिर्फ चुनौती दी अपितु उसकी नींव तक हिला दी। झारखंड के खूंटी जिले के सुरम्य जंगलों और पहाड़ियों की गोद में बसे एक गांव उलीहातू में उनका जन्म 15 नवंबर 1875 को हुआ था। बिरसा का बचपन भेड़ बकरियां चराते, बांसुरी बजाते और स्थानीय अखड़ा में नाचते गाते हुए बीता था। उनकी परवरिश मुख्य रूप से बोहुंडा के जंगलों में हुई और यही जंगल बाद में उनकी क्रांति की कर्म भूमि बना। बचपन से ही उन्होंने अतीत में हुए मुंडा, उरांव और अन्य जनजातियों द्वारा स्थानीय विद्रोह की अनेक कहानियां सुनी थी। बिरसा ने ठान लिया कि उन्हें अपने लोगों को जगाना है, अपनी धरती को बचाना है और अपनी सांस्कृतिक अस्मिता की रक्षा करनी है। धीरे धीरे उन्होंने अपने लोगों को संगठित करना शुरू किया और आदिवासी अधिकारों के लिए संघर्ष का बिगुल फूंक दिया। इस संघर्ष का उन्होंने नाम दिया उलगुलान, यानी समग्र क्रांति। आदिवासियों ने अंग्रेजों के विरुद्ध अपने पारंपरिक हथियारों से सशस्त्र संघर्ष छेड़ दिया। बिरसा का स्पष्ट संदेश था, हम धरती के पुत्र हैं। अब समय आ गया है कि हम अपनी धरती, जंगल और संस्कृति की रक्षा करें। उनकी बातें लोगों के दिलों को छू गई और देखते ही देखते वे धरती आबा यानी धरती पिता कहलाने लगे। ब्रिटिश सरकार आदिवासियों के बीच बिरसा मुंडा के प्रभाव से घबरा गई और उन्हें पकड़ने का पूरा प्रयास किया।
Yeah, so I think knowing about heroes from every nook and corner of the country, especially from the tribal domain, I think it is possible only through documentaries like this.
Yes, this is one of the format.
Yeah.
Harpreet. You know, we can even do we can show this entire thing again in full-on animation, yeah, or we can even do a role play. But
Yeah.
then again, what I feel like, you know, it depends on how much time you are giving for this video,
Yes.
right? Now in role play, maybe you will be able to talk about just a few aspects of his life, right? But in a documentary, since there are no such characters and dialogues involved, it is just narration happening. So you can give a lot of information in a quick time with a lot of visuals.
Ma'am, you know, it reminds me of watching those wonderful programs on two important channels. I don't want to name the channels, but watching documentaries, biographies on those channels was very engaging, and I literally learned a lot about the world figures.
Yes. Yes,
That is really interesting.
Yes, so it's always about the mode of presentation.
Yes.
Also, right? So this can be like just a talking head also, right? Maybe like just one person talking. But if you know, join it together with a lot of visuals and a nice music, and here we are using the music from his community, like you know, from that part of the country. So this actually helps in the authenticity of the video also.
Absolutely.
All right. Okay, so I think we should move ahead.
Yes.
The next is, I like to term it as a live action video, because here what I do is, like, you know, I have mixed like a lot of things together. Now what is a live action video? A live action video means, you know, again, like I said, I would like to explain it like maybe an experiment, you know, where things are happening live.
Yeah.
Okay. This can be like, you know, you don't need to actually give a lot of dialogues to people. You can just maybe set the stage, set the theme, and then you see the action unfold as it happens live. Because in experiments, you cannot predict the end. Sometimes a chemistry experiment might work, sometimes it might fail, right? So you cannot predict everything from time, like from 0 to 10 minutes, right? You cannot predict anything. So you have to see as it goes live. So in another case, it can be an interview. You don't know what the other person is going to answer, right? Unless it's a scripted interview. Again, like if we are doing a role play or something like that, that's different, which we will come to it later. But these are the live action videos that we can use in educational content. For example, you are visiting a science fair, and in a science fair, there is this particular stall where they are conducting these very nice experiments, and you feel the need ki that this particular experiment will work as a very nice educational content. So that in itself is a live action video that we can use, which you can use in one of your lesson planning. So here I'm just going to show you a small you know, a clip of an experiment that we did, and you can see that, you know, how experiments are conducted, and you can get an idea when you actually draft your script, as in how much of dialogue should be given and how much, you know, you should keep it to the natural pacing, the natural conversation of the people involved in the video. All right. One more example is that these people, the live action video can also be used as a field trip. You know, when children are going on a field visit, right, and they are learning things as they happen, as they're exploring in maybe a nursery they are going, or you know, they are going to a park, to a zoo. You know, when they are going there and they are learning things, so this can also be your educational content. Okay, so we will now check, we will talk about, we will check
show
the
them.
video on experiment.
Sure.
Let us learn something more about the magnetic effect of current. Are you guys ready for the surprise?
Yes, ma'am.
Alright, then hand me over the setup kept over there. You turn it off. Alright, so here we have a non-conducting sheet, a metal copper wire looped around, and then some few magnetic needles. Now let me connect the battery eliminator to the copper wire. So here what we are going to do is, we'll see what is the direction of the magnetic field lines around the copper wire.
Oh, I remember. We also did this in the case of bar magnet too, to observe the magnetic field line patterns.
Okay, eyes on the magnetic needle. Let me turn on the battery eliminator for you. Please see if you see any deflection.
Oh.
Yes, ma'am, there is a deflection.
I think so. It means the magnetic field around this conducting wire is circular.
Yes, you're correct. Whenever the current flows through the magnetic wire, then a magnetic field is produced around it, which is circular in nature, and direction is anti-clockwise.
But ma'am, do we have to use magnetic needles every time to figure out the direction?
No, actually we have a rule for that. Imagine you're holding a current carrying wire in your right hand,
Just 1 second.
such that your thumb points in the direction of the current flowing through it. Then, in which your fingers will curl around and grab the conductor, will give you the direction of the magnetic field. This is known as right hand thumb rule.
Cut.
Well, why don't we apply this on the circuit?
Okay, ma'am. Well, ma'am,
Well, it's interesting to see, you know, how this animation has been embedded in the script writing. I can see that you have also included questions, then there is an explanation as well. Like, you know, it is containing all the elements of a classroom scenario. Like in documentary, we learnt about the strength of the script when it comes to narration.
Yes.
And here I can see the entire dialogue is there, animation you have included, and it's kind of you know, sparking the curiosity in the learners also, what's happening and why is it happening.
And what's going to happen next?
Yes.
Right? So you wait for it. You
True.
don't just turn off with your remote and just go away.
True.
You want to see what's going to happen
Absolutely.
next. Okay, so you know, I'm very glad, Harpreet, that you are understanding, and I hope our viewers are also
I'm sure.
understanding. You know, what gives me more pleasure is that we have not even entered the elements part, and you've already got the elements. That what are the elements that should actually go into script writing?
I think it shows how well researched the script is, that a person like me is understanding. So I'm sure the children will understand and observe it with equal excitement.
That's the goal, right?
Yes, yes.
All right, moving forward, so we have seen a lot of formats already, and there are just a few formats left. Now again, I would like to bring it to the notice, to the attention of all the learners again, that we are talking about educational content. You know, we're not talking about, you know, Bollywood scripting, you know, scripting for Bollywood or something else. This is educational. We're trying to keep it very simple and engaging and interactive for children. So the formats that I'm actually showing right now is what you can actually use for your educational content, for developing your educational content. And these are the formats that will actually help you, which again, I like to use this word again and again, bring your lessons to life. Okay.
Right.
Yeah. So let's go to the next one, which
Sure.
is basically fiction. Now this is very interesting. This is very nice. You know, like you have like this whole production crew full on involved. I mean, in every kind of production, the production crew is involved, but this takes a little extra effort, you know, where we need to, since we are making content for children education, so most of our videos here in NCERT that we develop, we bring the children as our artists who shoot. So it's very nice working with children and all. We gave them role plays, like we recently shot a video on Akbar and Birbal, and you can watch this content. You can scan the QR QR codes of our textbooks, and all the content that I've been showing it to you from the beginning is available in our NCERT official YouTube channel and in all the QR codes of our textbooks. So please go and watch, and the links of this will also be uploaded as once this session gets over. So if I have cut short most of the videos and not been able to play the entire video, you can always come back to this session and check, click on the links later, and then you will get to see the whole video. Okay,
Right.
I think I have done your part also.
Yeah, I'm excited because this is one of my favorite mediums to learn a lesson.
All right. Okay. So fiction. When
Yeah.
do we do fiction?
Yeah.
Fiction you can do. When you want to. Again, you can read what I have already written here. You want to dramatize a situation. You want to make something really interesting and engaging. You want music, and you want graphics and colors and nice actings and all this. You can use role plays. You can use dramas. Sometimes just sitting and reading a story. Most of us, what we do is when we read a story, we start visualizing. But when it's happening in front of you, it's even nice, right? So you can use fiction. Yeah, fiction does take a bit of more time because you need to bring the artists together. There's a lot of characterization that happens. You will have to think, again, this is, like I said, it's a part of scripting, and when you do these kinds of fiction, you'll have to write in your script what is the age group of the child that you want to hire for this particular video. And if you're talking about a grandpapa, right, if there's a granddad in your video, then I always encourage my script writers, I always encourage the people who are contributing to script to always mention their age group, because to your surprise, I am already a grandmother, right, back in my state in Meghalaya, right? So when we talk relation wise, so a grandmother, do I fit for that role, right? So it's always important that, although for some people they may think, oh, that's so silly, but no, since in the beginning, as we said, that script writing is a guideline, it's a blueprint. It's important when you give these kinds of information, right? So let's look at something that we have done recently, which is a fiction. This is on class 6 mathematics, and I will be showing just a initial clip of the video, and you can see that how a fiction actually works on screen.
Right.
Yes, Asha. Thank you so much for the update. I'm feeling bad for missing school, especially the mathematics class. Okay. Oh, you will reach in a while? Great. See you then. Bye.
Come, Amit, have your milk.
Okay, Didi.
How are you feeling now?
I'm feeling better, Didi. But I missed an important mathematics class today.
Oh no, missing out on mathematics, your favorite subject. Oh, what did your friend Asha say?
Asha updated me that our teacher started teaching chapter number 2 from the Ganit Prakash, titled Lines and Angles today.
Oh, that's an interesting one.
Didi, can you help me explore the basic concepts of this chapter? I don't want to fall behind in class.
Of course, Amit. Let me get something to help you understand better. Meanwhile, finish your milk.
Lines and angles. I wonder what's that all about. What are we going to do with this, Didi?
We will explore mathematics. Tell me, what is this box made of?
This box is made of cardboard. It's simple.
Yes, but remember, we are going to explore it in terms of mathematics.
Okay. So how will we explore this box in terms of mathematics?
Let's start over. What do you see in front of you?
I see it's a box.
Correct. And what is the shape of this box?
It's cubical. I mean, it's a cube.
Exactly. And what is a cube made of?
A cube is made of...
Okay, let me show you. I will cut it from the edges and we will see what a cube is made up of. Now tell me, what do you see?
Oh, a cube is made up of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 squares. Am I correct, Didi?
Yes, you are correct. Let's take it a step further. Now tell me, what is a square made of?
A square.
Wow, I'm liking the fact that how you have actually weaved this entire story with the mother in picture, making her children understand with the real-time props. I think that's the best part of fiction, that you kind of see the setting and you find the content so relatable as if it's happening in your own space. You're a part of it.
So, I would like to tell you more about this video.
Yeah.
Usually when we talk about mathematics, right, we always talk about the concepts are so difficult.
Yes.
We need animation, right? Or the concept is so difficult, let's just show images.
Yeah.
But, there was a lot of effort that went into the making of this video, and we were able to explain the entire concept with just real people, real acting, and the TLMs that were used.
Yes.
So this is like the beauty of creating educational resources, like you have this brainstorming, there are a lot of people who come together and we discuss and how to make a content, more relatable to children with things around them, with things that's every day, they touch and they see. How do you learn mathematics with that, right? So this was a very nice way. So this is what I would like to tell our viewers, that, when you think of maths, you don't always have to think animation. You don't always have to think a whiteboard and start drawing lines, right? You can take a break, think of a concept, spend some more time on it and see that things in everyday life, what are the things in everyday life that can actually help you understand mathematics. Because after doing so many videos here, I've come to understand that maths is everywhere.
Maths is everywhere, yes. And the best part of this video, videos like these, is that you can also teach parents how to, teach their kids at home.
Yes.
This is not something, teaching learning material is not something that only teachers can be proud of. Even parents can create something like this with everything available at their disposal in their homes.
Yes, Harpreet, correctly said. Okay, Harpreet, let's move on.
Yes.
So I have 2 more videos to show, and then this, now maybe you will say, this is a script writing workshop. Why are we talking about, why are we just watching videos? Now, if you don't watch the videos, if you don't understand what the video is, how will you know what to write and how to write?
Absolutely.
Right? So once you know this concept can even be explained like this, right? In this concept, this is a new approach I can use. So this is the reason why I'm showing videos, so that once you see the video, you will understand that maybe I can write a simple, concept into different kinds of formats. And I always like what my teacher used to tell me, Harpreet, that Binita, the more you know, the more you see. Right? So the more videos you see, the more ideas you get, right? The more concepts comes into play and your creativity can enlighten more, right?
And you just forgot about the improvisation that takes place on the set.
Of course,
in the script writing itself.
Maybe that we will show in another couple of videos.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, the next is what we're going to talk about is lecture. Now, in lecture is very simple. It's basically, what we can talk about is, what I can explain to you is basically maybe there'll be one talking head. Okay, so talking head is like one of the media jargons. So there will be like one character on screen. You don't have dialogues and acting and stuffs like that. It's basically one character on screen who will be delivering the speech. Mostly it happens with teachers and subject experts and all, who will be delivering the content, and as the content is being delivered, for example, if the content is of 5 minutes, we will not show that person for 5 minutes. So we will be showing corresponding visuals that actually help in understanding the words that she is speaking, right? So if she's talking about lines, then we show lines, right? If she's talking about sunshine, then we show about sunshine. So lecture videos a lot of educational content. If you see online, most of them are lecture videos where there's one person and the content is being delivered. So this, I feel, is the simplest way that most of the educational content creators can use. And I will just show you a quick example of a lecture video. Most of the time lecture, now since the attention span, we keep talking about how attention span of people have reduced with time. So this particular lecture video that we have made is only of one minute, or I think slightly more than 1 minute, and there are other lecture videos also that goes on for 15 and 20 minutes and so on and so forth. So it depends on the concept and how much time you need to make a person understand that concept, right? So maybe something about lines and angles can be taught in a 30-minute video, or maybe that same thing can also be taught in a 2-minute video on the format that you are using and the resources that you have and your target audience. Okay, so these things plays a big role in selecting the media format. Okay, so let's look at one of the lecture that we have made recently.
Today, we will understand what an angle is, not just in books, but in real life too. Let's start with something familiar, a clock. The space between the hands is called an angle. An angle is formed when two lines or rays meet at a point. That point is the vertex. Look at this pair of scissors. When I open it, the blades form an angle. The wider I open, the greater the angle becomes. Here is a set square. Notice different corners form different angles. Some are acute, some are right, and some are obtuse. Even your notebook forms an angle when opened. Watch what happens when I open it wider. So remember, angles are everywhere, indoors, stairs, even when you stretch your arms.
Well, I can see the beauty of this concise script when it comes to making this 1 minute of magic video.
Yes. So Harpreet, this is one of the formats where we have used lots of things together. We have used a real person talking. We have also used animation. We have used graphic and everything today. So what I want to tell the learners or the whoever has joined us online is, you need not stick to one format. Right, you can use a lot of, like we were talking about multimedia. We can use a lot of resources together to make your video more interesting and engaging. And these kinds of videos are something like, nowadays I think people develop something called reels, and we want to explain a very large concept into small in a short time. So these kinds of videos really help us reach the students and also maintain whatever attention span they have, and the most important, learn the message that we want to tell them. They will be able to grasp that knowledge. Okay, so moving ahead, since I don't think we have much time left and there's a lot to discuss, so let's moving on. So now what we have done is, we have already discussed the 3 things, and then we have discussed the selection of the media, and we have seen the different kinds of formats. Now since you have already seen the format, you have seen how a documentary looks like, when can we use a documentary, how an animation looks like, when we can use an animation, how a fiction looks like, and when we can use fiction, and a lecture, when can we do a lecture. Now since you have already seen these things and you already know how it looks like on television and the possibility of delivering your message to the children with these formats that have already been given, we come to the actual structuring and writing phase. Now structuring and writing. What happens in structuring and writing is, I think most of us know this already, is that when you write a letter, for example, there always has to be a beginning, middle and end, right? You cannot have, in similar way, you cannot have a video without a beginning or without an end, right? You cannot just end a video abruptly. It cannot be like two people are talking and suddenly the video has ended. It cannot be like that. So a structure is very important. You should always plan that, it should have a nice beginning, it should have a nice middle, and you conclude. Mostly in educational videos, how they conclude is, mostly I'm saying, not every educational video, but mostly in most of the educational videos, they try to sum up the entire lesson that has been taught. So this is how they do the conclusion in most. And yes, Harpreet, do we have anything?
Yeah,
that
I
you
think
want
because
to add?
what you're explaining is very important, but we do have dearth of time.
Yeah.
So we have hardly 2 minutes left, and I
Okay.
think this scripting and writing again is a very important part. And one thing I noticed while you were showing us the videos, that a lot of things change when we actually shot a video, and
Yes.
that's why when you mentioned you have to write the target audience's age
Yes,
group or the
yes,
class, that
yes.
becomes really
Yes,
important.
yes.
So even when you're coming up with the new ideas in the middle of the production, you can keep the target audience in mind and only then make the modifications.
Yes,
That's
yes.
very important.
Yes, that's very
Yeah.
important. You cannot just use very hi-fi languages.
Yeah.
You have to use simple sentences. I'll do a quick run through with whatever we have prepared. You should always start with a hook, because nowadays the remote is in the children's hand.
Yeah.
The remote is in our hand. If you don't like a video, we will just switch it off, right? So it's very important to have a hook. So when we talk about a hook, it can be like an interesting topic, like in an interesting line, like what if pets can vote? Something like that, so these kinds of hooks can maybe actually want us to go forward in the program. The next is conversational. Now I have seen a lot of scripts where, when I read the script, it looks more like a report, right? It should not be a report, it should be very conversational. It should be like, how me and Harpreet are interacting today. It should be very natural, it should feel very natural. One person should not be talking for a very long time. The sentences should be short and sweet. Okay, next is like structure, which we have already spoken about. There has to be a beginning, there has to be a middle portion, right, a body, and there has to be a nice conclusion. Okay, and next is continuity. Now when we talk of continuity, especially when I talk about fiction, if in one scene a person is talking in a drawing room, suddenly we will not show the rest of the discussion in a park. The continuity has to be maintained when you are writing a script. And for example, even continuity even comes into play when you are talking about the dresses. If in one scene the girl is wearing like a black blazer, maybe in the next one, she or he cannot suddenly change the outfit, right? So continuity is very important, and the examples are given here.
Right.
Okay, finally we come to this. Harpreet, I'll just be taking another 1 minute for this. So now you have seen the different kinds of videos, you have learned about the different kinds of formats. Now you actually sit down and start writing. When you sit down and start writing, you can make this column. When you make this column, you will have the title, which I've already placed here, the scene headings. So what are scene headings? Scene headings are basically, you will have to tell them where is this activity happening. INT is basically interior. Is it happening inside or outside?
Okay.
Then you have to tell the location. Where is the scene happening? Is it a bedroom, a classroom, a kitchen, right? And then you will have to say the time of the day. Then we come to the script. Who is speaking? How is she speaking? Whether she's whispering, she is loud, she is sad. These are the dialogues that we can add. And then the visuals. When this girl is speaking, what kind of visual will be shown on television and what kind of music will go. So this is basically the format which we use for scripting. There is another format which is this. This is like a very simple documentary format where there is basically a narration that's happening from the beginning to end, and then there are the corresponding visuals running.
Right.
Okay.
But I noticed something here. What about this font, this changed font in the middle of the script?
Yes, okay, so you pointed out that rightly.
Yeah.
Most of the time we have been told that reports should always be Times New Roman or Arial, right? So these are like the universally accepted fonts. But when it comes to media production, we usually don't use Times New Roman or Arial. We stick to Courier. Okay, Courier is what we do, and the font size we try to keep is 12.
Right.
Because a particular Courier font takes an exact space.
Okay.
Like in Arial, maybe A is smaller, and T is much smaller, and I is even smaller.
Yes.
Right. But in Courier, it takes an exact space, and this helps us in timing the script.
Wow.
Right. So this is just an additional knowledge since you
So
asked.
actually that's a great trivia that you have shared with all the script writers out there. And yes, the stronger the script, the stronger the screenplay, the greater the final product. That's all we have learned in the session, along with lots of tips and tricks for developing a good script for an amazing video production. And for this entire journey, for this wonderful treasure of knowledge, I must thank my expert. Thank you so much, ma'am,
Thank you.
for your time and contribution to the session. It was indeed wonderful. We learnt a lot. I'm sure our viewers learnt a lot. And those who are already into script writing and they want to improve, those who want to make a foray into this, they can definitely learn a lot from our day 3's session, which was on script writing under the umbrella theme of our training program, which is development of video resources. So I'm wrapping up the session over here and giving you a quick update regarding the next program. Here is the program schedule. In a short while from now, you can watch our session Sahyog, which will be about emotional intelligence. With this, it's a wrap. This is me, Harpreet Kaur, signing off. But you stay tuned for more educational content on our various platforms. Namaskar.